So this is really cool. I figured out how to train AI to generate images with my own face on it, and I want to teach you how to do this. Check this out. So here's like an image of me as Superman, but then like I've also been using it to create thumbnails for my YouTube channel. These are all AI generated. They look really good. It's like kind of me, but not me, but it's really pretty incredible. So I'm going to show you exactly how to set this up, how you can make this, and then I'm going to show you how you can take basically thumbnails from what other content creators are making, and you can use them to create your own thumbnails, because other creators are creating content that works. And so if you can mimic the type of thumbnails that they're creating, your content will likely work too. But there's all sorts of uses like this. Obviously you saw the Superman photo. Like this can be just for fun. There's a million things you can do with this. So let's just like hop right in and let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to come to replicate.com and create an account, and then search for this guy Luca Taco, right? So if you just come straight to replicate.com, you'll get something that looks like this, and you can search for Luca Taco here. This guy has been like developing up a storm. You can click on literally any one of these. It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to get to his name. And so here you go. And like you can see how much he's developed. Like it's really crazy. But if you scroll all the way down the page here, he's got this AI toolkit, and this is where you're going to want to come to train your model. So we're going to come in here, and this is like seems a little bit complex, but like it's really not that bad. The whole process takes about 30 minutes, and honestly like most of that time is just letting the AI kind of like process in the background. You can go off and do other things. So once you're here, you just want to come over and you want to go to train. And now that you're in training, just come down the page here, and we only have to fill out some of this. So we're going to do destination, and we're just going to create a new model. And we want to make sure that this is a public model, and you can go ahead and name it. And so I'm just going to name it Duncan Rogoff Laura, because that's the name of the model that we're training. So that looks good. These images are another thing that you're going to need. So I literally went and I just like grabbed all these photos of me, like really random photos from all over the place, and I just kind of like created a zip file of them. So just zip them up, and you just go ahead and you can drag and drop the zip file right here, so that, you know, the AI model needs like your face to train it off of. This model is fine. You don't need to do this. 1,000 steps is good for this. There is one thing that you need to do. There's two more things that you need to do. And so one thing you need is this Hugging Friends token. That's what this is, or Hugging Face token. And so if you come over to huggingface.co and create an account here, and just come up into the profile button and come into access tokens, and we can go ahead and click create new token and just go ahead and name this. I'm just going to name this Duncan Rogoff. Replicate. I'm just going to name it the same thing. Great, this is good, and we're just going to give it like a whole bunch of permissions. Like I don't think we need most of this, but I'm just going to go ahead and click all this stuff here. I don't think we need discussions or billing or any of that. I don't think we need any of this. I think this is fine. So just make sure you have all these checked. I don't know which ones it's using, but it's definitely using some of them. So we're just going to go ahead and create tokens. I'm going to bore that out so you guys don't steal it. But then if you just copy the token here and you come back in to the model here, and you just go ahead and paste in your token right here. And so there's just one more thing you need to do back on Hugging Face. So if you come in here, you go into your profile and you come down to new model. So we just want to create a new model. So this is, I'm the owner, you select your own name here, and I'm just going to call this same thing. And you just want to make sure you set this to public, and you can just come down here and click create model. So this will take a second, and we're good here. So we can copy this in too, and if we come back to the model down here, this is the repo ID name. So we can just go ahead and paste that in. It matches the model on the other end. And once you're done filling in all your information, all you have to do down here is click create training. And this does take like a little bit of time to run. So you can see this is already starting to run, which is really great. And so this is like really cheap. If you come in here, you can see they have all this pricing data, and it just kind of depends on like the type of GPUs that you're running. The cheapest model is just using the CPU, and it only costs 36 cents an hour. And pretty much all of these images, like I've been generating like batches of 4, and the whole thing takes like a minute to run. So if you just do some basic math here, like 36 cents divided by 60 minutes in an hour, it costs you 0.006 cents per minute to run this thing. So you're paying less than a penny for every image generation that you get out of this. So again, really affordable. Cool. So now you can see this model is trained. It took about 37 minutes for me, so it probably cost me like $2.50 or something like that to train the model on my face. And so now what we want to do is we want to take all that training and we actually want to use it to create images. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So basically, Luca Taco is the guy to follow, right? You want to go back to his profile here, and you want to come down, scroll all the way down until you find Luca Flux Dev Laura right here. You can just go ahead and click on that, right? And it has some settings that you want to adjust. This is the prompt that you put in, and basically the way you call your model is just by using whatever the model name that you trained it on. I use my own. I use Duncan Rogoff, right? And so I usually put that first. I find the model does a better job if you put, your name first. So I use that, and then the rest of your prompt. So there's a couple other things we have to do to get this set up. The aspect ratio is 1. Like if you're using Instagram, 1:1 is square ratio. 16:9 is really common for like HD video, like YouTube thumbnails is 16:9, and 9:16 is the other common format. This is like vertical video for like Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or TikTok or wherever else, right? The prompt strength, I'm just going to go back to where I already had it so you can kind of see the settings that I like to use. The prompt strength, I just have at 0.5. The number of outputs is basically like, do you want 1 image all the way up to 4 images? The inference steps, this is just kind of like how detailed it's going to be. I just crank this all the way up to the max, the 50, same with the guidance scale. You can put in a random seed if there's one you found that you like, but I just leave this blank. And then here you want to make sure this is where you're actually going to call yourself, like the training that we just did. So you want to make sure that this matches your model in Hugging Face. If you come back into Hugging Face and you just go into your profile up here, you can just click on your name, right? And this is kind of like your dashboard. And this is the model that I just created. And so if you come in here, you can kind of just click copy, and you can come in and you can copy and paste this right into the LoRa string here. The scale I set at 0.8. The output format, I choose JPEG. You can do WebP or PNG. The quality, and that's like really all you have to do. So really the most important thing is making sure that this model is accurate, and then you can kind of play around to get settings that you like. And so here's just an example that I did. I'm gonna run this again really quick. I just said Duncan Rogoff wearing glasses, looking straight at the camera and standing in the middle of Times Square holding a cardboard sign. On the sign is big bold text that says, "I love you," with a heart. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run this. So what's really cool though is I also want to show you how you can like kind of mimic and copy the thumbnails from other popular creators. And so this is really, really powerful because if they're already doing something that works, it's better for you to try to kind of like emulate that with like, tweak it a little bit, make it your own. But I want to show you how you can kind of like mimic what other creators are doing, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to let this run. It took about 17 seconds to load the prompt. This is going to run for a couple minutes. I think, obviously the more outputs you have, the longer it's going to take to run. So if you just have one, this should be pretty fast. But in general, it kind of takes me like a minute or so to run, which is pretty cheap. And then if you come down here, you can see this model costs approximately 0.018 cents. So less than a penny to run, or 55 runs per dollar. So you can run this about 55 times for every dollar, just kind of like depending on, kind of like the complexity of your prompt and all the details and all that stuff. So let's hop into YouTube. Let's find some cool thumbnails, and then we're going to jump into Claude real quick. You can do this with ChatGPT, or you can just kind of like describe it yourself. But I'm going to show you a couple cool ways to do this with a couple cool tricks along the way. And so there's this guy like Greg Eisenberg. Give him a follow if you haven't followed him already. He's kind of cool AI guy. He likes to make apps. He has a podcast with a bunch of cool like ideas for startups and things like that. And so if you can see here, like here kind of like his thumbnail style, right? And if you go to videos, you can like click on popular and you can see like what his most popular videos are, and we can try to see like, okay, like why are these working, right? Like he's big and bold, like it has kind of like the Reddit and Perplexity like little app icon here. Obvious copy. This is showing obviously $1 million a year, like that's big, right? Maybe this copy this workflow bolt.new. So what we can do is we can actually just take a screenshot of this, and we can just like come into Claude and we can drop this in here, and we can say, how would you describe this image to an AI image generator? And let's see what it comes up with, right? So then we can take this, we can say a YouTube video thumbnail showing a man in a navy blue sweater and glasses looking at the camera with a friendly smile, etc., etc. So you can see dark gray rectangular button or badge containing the bolt.new logo. So like already like this is really great. Like it tells you like what the text is. It says workflow is highlighted in yellow, etc., etc. So I think we probably just need this top part here. I think the background is black is important too. So we can just come into here and we can come into our model. You can see this is what this thinks of me holding a sign in New York City. It's like not exactly me, but like it's kind of close, right? Like it's looking pretty good. This one, obviously not so much me, but this one's not too bad, right? It'd be nice if I was smiling. I like that I'm smiling here. My hair is maybe a little bit long, but you can go ahead and save that and we can come back to this prompt because I think it's fun. But what's really cool is that now we can just paste in that description from Claude about that image generator, and instead of a YouTube video thumbnail showing a man, we can just say, call the model, right? showing Duncan Rogoff in a navy blue sweater and glasses, looking at the camera with a friendly smile. He's pointing to a dark gray rectangular button or badge containing the bolt.new logo with a lightning bolt symbol, etc., etc. And so we can just go ahead and click run on this, and this is where it gets really powerful, right? So you can start seeing how you can come up with a whole bunch of ideas for thumbnails and things like that. One other cool trick that you can do with Claude is if you come into console.anthropic.com, they also have like a prompt generator. So if you want this to be more detailed, and so like we just give this a really basic description of what we're trying to do, and it's going to create like the perfect prompt for us. Just like tell it what you're going to do, right? I'm going to upload a YouTube thumbnail, and I need Claude to describe that thumbnail in a way an AI image generator can understand. And just go ahead and click generate. And so now this is going to give us the perfect prompt for us. Check this out. You are tasked with describing a YouTube thumbnail image in a way that an AI image generator can understand. The goal is to provide a clear, detailed, and structured description that captures the essential elements of the thumbnail, which can then be used as input for an AI image generation system. Check this out. Overall composition and layout, main subject, background elements, colors and lighting, text or typography. Like, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need, right? And so I'm just going to go ahead and copy all of this, and we can come back into Claude. I'm just going to start a new chat, and I'm just going to say, instead of, I know this says, here's the YouTube thumbnail image to analyze, and instead of that, obviously, I'm just going to say, like, attached is the YouTube thumbnail to analyze. So I'm just going to attach it here, right? So I'm just going to go back to Greg Eisenberg's channel. I'm going to take another screenshot just of this one here, and let's go ahead and drop this into Claude, and let's see what it comes up with now. Maybe we'll get a better prompt. And in the meantime, while this is cooking, we can chop back into our model and check this out. Copy this workflow, bolt.new. This is me in a blue sweater. This kind of looks like me. I like this. And again, like, these aren't perfect, but it's pretty good. And you can still bring this into Photoshop and like make any tweaks and adjustments that you need to do. So it's really very cool. And so check this out. Let me provide a detailed description of these two thumbnail, composition, main subject, background, text elements. I'm just going to take all of this, and I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this now. We're going to come into here, and let's try this one, right? So I'm going to paste this in, and really the only thing we need to change is main subject. Instead of man in glasses, I'm just going to say Duncan Rogoff in glasses, etc., etc. I'm going to go ahead. We don't need the timestamp in the bottom right corner. We don't need Greg Eisenberg because that's not me. But the rest is cool with me. So I'm just going to go ahead and click run, and let's see what we get from this. Okay, this took about a minute to run, and we're done. Check these out. These are really good. The text isn't perfect, but it's looking pretty great. Like, you can get the idea of how you can use this for a YouTube thumbnail. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure you give a thumbs up and follow me for more cool AI content.